Alrighty, welcome back to another gun build, guys. We're actually going to be looking at the brand new RAAL MG, or RAAL MG. I'm going to call it RAAL MG because, why not? But this is a brand new MG, as you guys know, or LMG, I should say. Uh, but what is really cool about this gun is the actual thing I want to do for this gun for the build is make it to where it's somewhat like a DMR in a sense, or a really hard-hitting kind of gun. Now, as you guys know, the LMGs and up to sniper rifles, not melee, of course, but like sniper rifles, marksman rifles, and LMGs, they hit like a freaking truck. That usually LMGs take up to at least 3 shots to kill someone, unless you're counting the Holger 26, which is a pain in the butt to use. But yeah, all these guns are pretty hard hitting. The RAAL MG takes a total of two shots in order to kill someone. Stopping power rounds don't really change this amount of rounds that you need to actually kill someone. Headshots don't really do anything to them either. Even if you put on stopping power rounds and shoot them in the head, it won't do anything in terms of reducing your number of shots that it'll take. And what's cool about this gun is that the damage range to it is insane. The bullet velocity is even better. So what I'm going to be doing is giving it to where it's practically like a really low recoil setup to the gun and turning it to where it's more long range DMR kind of setup. It is fully automatic, obviously, for it being an LMG, and it is insanely good feeling. Now, the only deal about this is that it has a really weird horizontal kind of recoil kind of setup to the gun here. So it's a little bit weird. So I don't know if it's really just visual or if it's actually bouncing side to side. I can't really tell, but it is kind of odd if you're just using iron sights. So I would try to stay away from iron sights if you can. It bounces around in a really odd way. So the iron sights aren't bad. It's just when you're firing like that, it moves a lot. So I just wanted to let you guys know that ahead of time when you guys are unlocking the gun if you haven't already. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the build for actual attachments. Now, obviously, for the first one, we always go to the barrels. Gives you a massive damage range, full velocity recoil control. This is going to be like the 32-inch RAAL line breaker barrels, the second one that you unlock. I don't really know what level it will be on when you first get through it. I only have it on level 11 right now, but this is in a private match. So yeah, so we want the barrel there for the line breaker. As you can see, for your range, for your stat there, it's actually really high up there with the actual sniper rifles. Pretty much on par with like the Remington 700 or the SPR 208 like sniper rifle, which is really cool. So this is what I mean, like it has an incredible amount of range to the gun. But we can make that even better. So from there you want to go to your muzzle and you can put on its own version of the monolithic, which is the RAAL monocore. Gives you sound suppression, damage range. It gives you a pretty good amount of range all around. Obviously, the cons being aim down sight speed and aim walking steadiness. So it's pretty much like a monolithic suppressor, but I believe is a little bit better for the LMG. So we'll put that on there. Now from there, you want to go to the underbarrel and you want to go for the bipod. Now you can run a grip if you want to, like the FSS or FFS oblique grip. You can put that on there. It gives you a large amount of recoil control and aim down sight speed, and cons being movement speed. So if you want to run that and make it to where it's a little bit snappier, you can. But I'm just going to put on the bipod because this seems to gives me the most amount of recoil control, or second best really, without giving me any kind of downside. So if you want to put that on there, you can, or if you want to put on the grip, that's fine too. But I'm going to put on the bipod there so it doesn't give me any kind of downsides to it. From there, you want to go to your optics, and this is actually really cool because it has its own 4x optic to the gun, and it also has a built-in rangefinder, so you can see how far an enemy is by actually having it on your optic there. So it's really cool. It is a 4x zoom. It is integrated. It doesn't have any kind of like flip uh, setting, much like the what is it, the 4x flip hybrid. It's pretty much like the 4x flip hybrid that I have here on the Scar. But you can't flip it, so it's just kind of like that scope, but you're not able to flip it. But it does have an actual rangefinder in there. I'll be using that because that gives me the most amount of magnification I can get out of the gun, so I can hit those really long range shots. So the base magazine size for this gun is 100. You can bump it up to 150 if you want to, or you can also put on the 50 round belt, which knocks it down by half, obviously. But this gives you aim down sight speed, sprint to fire speed, movement speed, reload quickness. It just speeds up your gun a ton. So that's a really interesting attachment that you can run on there. If you don't think you want to just stick with the 100 rounds, you can always go to 150. I'm not going to be running that on there. I'm just kind of showing you guys that that's the ammunition that it can run. Like the 50 round belt magazine is a really cool attachment to have on there. It's more or less like the Bruin, like 60 round magazine. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention for the actual optic, when you go over to customize and you put on any other kind of optic here, it will get rid of the actual rangefinder. So if you want to still use a rangefinder, do not equip any kind of sight on here because it will get rid of it. So I'll just run the default one. But after that, you want to go to your stock and you want to go to the FSS resistor stock here, and it's the very first one you unlock, and it gives you aiming stability. Pretty straightforward there, and that'll make it to where your first shot accuracy is a little bit better. It doesn't sway a whole lot when you're aiming. It's really good. So you can either run that on there, or you can run the tac laser. It'll do the same thing, gives you aiming stability. So either one will definitely do. I don't like giving away my position though, so I'm just going to run the stock. It doesn't get rid of anything aside from my aim walking movement speed, which I'm not really going to be using if I'm crouching or laying down with the bipod while using this gun. So with this, it'll give you an insane amount of range. It's actually, like I said, up there with sniper rifles that you put on there. You can also put on, like I said, the grip on here, and that'll give you technically even more range for recoil control. But yeah, you can put that on there. Again, I'm just going to be using the bipod because it makes it to where it doesn't have any kind of real downsides to the gun, and it'll give you an incredible amount of recoil control. So we'll put that on there. The bullet velocity is insane to the gun, and we're just going to go ahead and jump into it. So it's a really fast firing LMG that has a 2-shot kill potential to it. I'm not meaning like real fast firing as in like real fast like an SMG or a normal assault rifle like the M4. It's a lot slower, like you'll see here in just a little bit. More on the lines of the Odin, but a little bit faster than the Odin. So you got the Scar all decked out in a very similar fashion.
Enemy threats in the AO, weapons hot.
So there you go, that's how fast I aim down sights. As you can see the rangefinder above the actual reticle, 15 meters, 14. As a move, you know, it actually changes. These guys are already trying to beat me.
We're in control.
Yeah, so the Odin has nothing on this. As you can see all the way down. Has a real good actual recoil control here. Like I said, horizontal is like the only real thing about this gun. It's just really strange, but the bullet velocity is insane. So it's going to feel like hit scans practically anywhere. Where are these guys? We also got the Scar. So I decked out the Scar to have a very similar build to it. Try to go with the exact same attachments. The only difference is so yeah, really long range optics for a gun like this, which is really neat.
Let's even the score.
Real fast bullet velocity and max amount of range you can get out of it, which I'm sure someone's going to be going over the stats in a little bit, so I don't really know the exact numbers, but I do know it is already insane. It was really cool. Because, you know, who doesn't like an LMG that can kill someone in 2 shots and has a lot faster fire rate than the Odin and any other kind of like DMR kind of setup that can kill someone in that many rounds. You can also switch it to semi-auto. It's really cool because it almost has like no actual delay to it when you're firing. Obviously, you can see it's there is a bit of a delay. It does this really weird thing though. As you guys can hear, kind of shoots out like 2 rounds at a time. Kind of weird. So it does this weird 2-round burst kind of deal every so often, which is a bit weird. But yeah, so there you go. There's the RAAL MG, the most amount of range you can get out of it. Again, you can run the grip on there. I'm actually going to switch out for the grip. Oh yeah, and you're also able to change your loadout again while you're in mid-game, so that's fun. Why did they get rid of that? No one ever knows. So yeah, so you can definitely run the grip on there. That gives you the most amount of control. And you don't need to be crouching or anything, but it does get rid of your movement speed a little bit. Like as you can see, I move very slow with it. The movement speed is not good. Now it's not like the RETICLE AMR kind of movement speed, but it is still pretty good. Okay, so there you go. Sniper LMG that shoots really fast compared to other guns. So it's practically like the same as in like the F and Scar right here. So really cool. So I want to compare like the Odin, which is like probably the most comparable one. I put on a bunch of attachments. How about the recoil? Let's see, the Ranger one is probably the best one.
You.
A 30-round magazine to it. So, RAAL MG recoil. Odin recoil. As you can see, it shoots a lot slower than this. So it's practically the Odin on steroids. That's pretty much what it is. Just in the LMG section.
Enemy at the warehouse.
Again, you can kit it out to where you can probably have like the actual grip on here. Let's see, what can I take off
Back
of
behind the
this?
barrel.
So you can take off the stock if you want to, and you can put on the 50-round belt magazine. You would make it to where it aimed down sights a little faster, but you would split your magazine in half. Gives you a lot better like sprint to fire speed to the gun and stuff. But you're able to aim down sight a lot faster. It's not going to be beating any kind of SMG or anything, but it's a little bit better for handling, and you're still able to get really good kills and stuff. So the 50-round belt mag is definitely not a bad option. You reload faster with it too, so you're able to get reloads in. You can combine that with sleight of hand, and it makes it to where it's even faster. Yeah, so this is pretty much the long range build. Really cool. It's a 2-shot kind of kill. I don't know if... Actually, I guess I can test it as we speak, so...
Enemy at the warehouse.
Okay, yeah, so 3 shots if you're shooting them in the limbs, which is typical. Any kind of... or most guns in this game will be like that. You have that, and that's the rest, which is put in on steroids. So Odin built to be really long range, but also having some type of attachments to try to help it out a little bit. This guy has way better attachments that not only help out your recoil control, but also speeds up your ADS time. So all around, it has way better attachments than most guns for like actual things that help out its longer ranges, and also having the same amount of speed to the gun. So it has the best range, a real fast fire rate, and still pretty fast, compared to other LMGs and stuff. So it's kind of on par with a heavier rifle or assault rifle. So yeah, there you go, guys. The long range LMG or RAAL MG, and it's really neat. So the inspection's also really cool too. You can kind of pop open the top from the magazine, kind of look around there, just kind of inspecting it, obviously. It's actually one of my favorite builds to use so far. It's a real broken in ground war, and it's a really solid gun all around. I'm going to be leveling it up even more as I'm playing through it. I'm going to get Damascus and show you guys how this goes.
Enemy in the
I'm
center.
sure the Damascus on here will look insanely good on this gun, so can't wait to have that on there. Yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, please let me know down in the comments. Are you guys enjoying this kind of gun? Is it, you know, like somewhat useful in Warzone, or is it absolute trash? Do let me know. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.